right, everybody. This is Macky. We're back with another episode of the Hidden Threads podcast. Mr. Majusiak, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Fabulous. All right. So before we started today, Jus told me about a kitchen debacle this weekend. What happened there?
My wife wanted to remove a dishwasher. Now it turned into a whole kitchen remodel.
Wanted to remove a dishwasher, and it turned into a kitchen remodel.
Because she's the dishwasher.
Does she listen to these?
No.
But anyway, so you removed the dishwasher. You just wanted a new dishwasher?
No, I'm taking the dishwasher out, throwing it out to the curb. Get rid of it.
Get a new one.
I don't use it.
Oh, okay.
Well, behind the dishwasher, we found water damage.
Ah, okay. And you got to tear up the floor and all that.
Yeah.
Cabinets.
Well, not the floor, the cabinets. And if you're doing cabinets, you might as well just do the walls and the sink and
paint, countertops,
paint, everything. Yeah.
New granite countertops for you.
Yeah. I'm going to try and score some like Greek marble or something.
Greek marble.
Yeah.
So Dixie Salvage, there's a plug down in Fort Payne, has good stuff. I don't know if you've ever been in there before. Down in Fort Payne.
There once.
Yeah. I would check it out.
Yeah,
but,
I'll be down there.
All right. So we do a podcast on investigations and stuff.
We do.
Not home remodels. We might do another one on that. How about
that?
We'll do a tour of this house. I remodeled it.
This is a nice house.
But anyway, today we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic. I would say unless you're going through this, it's not. If you're going through it, it's not your favorite topic. But just listening, people love talking about adultery cases.
It's like a train wreck.
It is a train wreck you got to watch, right?
Yep.
We're going to talk about that today and get into some of the cases we worked and why. Again, we're going to do episode after episode of this. Why evidence is important in adultery cases, especially in a high stakes one, right?
Yeah,
a lot of money, houses, all those things on the line. Okay. I'm trying not to say as much, but I failed already. Jus.
Why?
Anyway. All right, let's get into it a little bit. So we get, adultery investigations are common in our business. A lot of people think that, hey, Mr. Investigators, go grab a camera and just follow him around for a few hours and see what he's doing. Is that how it goes?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly how it goes in their mind.
It's not, right?
There's so much involved.
Right. You got to do all your background. And we will not do it where they say, hey, we're going to pay you for a few hours. We won't take the case. We'll send you over I won't send you to anybody because I've been burned by other investigators so many times. They don't do a good job. But unless you want to work a full case, that's the only way we're going to do it. And what I mean by full case, we need at least 3 weeks to a full month to build a full picture to show that this is actually going on. Do you agree with that?
At least.
Yeah. We actually don't just want to show them out with their boyfriend or girlfriend, you name it, whatever they're doing. If it's just random hookups off the internet, we don't want to show it just once. We want to show it as a habit, right? Habitual offender, we call it in the criminal world, right?
Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts so far, Jus?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to just say, oh, I seen him out getting lunch with a female. It could be anybody, though.
Mm-hmm.
But when you show a habit of it with the same female, different females, it just starts building a case. It makes it look a lot better.
Over and over again, right?
Repeated.
Yes. We just finished up one where we got a tracker on the guy's car. Which tracker? That's another topic we might get into a little bit.
Yep.
There's some laws there. And his wife, they had actually moved out. He just all of a sudden said, hey, I want to move out. I don't want to be married to you anymore. Is that suspicious? Nice. Is that suspicious?
No, not at all.
But that's what happened. And we started following the guy around and saw him at a hotel. And it was a night when it was pouring rain so hard. Do you remember a few nights ago?
Oh, yes, I remember it well.
I thought we were getting a repeat of the flood in the Old Testament. It has never ended.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I'm talking the rain where you could not see when you're driving type rain, And but he decided to go to a hotel randomly and got him walking out with a girl and a woman. They're not girl, they're older people. But what do you think of that?
I don't know if she identified as a woman, but
Jus is always gonna make me laugh. She looked like a woman. All right. I did not.
We'll go with that.
Based off what she looked like a woman. All right. Now you could be tricked today. I know in today's marketplace.
It's easy.
Anyway, they came walking out. He helped her in her car, all those things. Now, he could very easily say, oh, I was just picking up a coworker and I picked her up and gave her whatever excuse he comes up with, right? But he got there. They were there for 3 hours and he left the same night. He didn't stay overnight. She didn't stay overnight. We got his receipt, by the way. And I'm not sure how we would, but we're not done. We're going to show it over and over again. We're going to show it a few more times that he's got these bad habits. And we're looking on the dating sites, too, to see if this is where he hooked up with a woman, because she's from a whole nother part of the state. So he probably met her online somehow. Oh, yeah. And it's a hookup type situation. Tinder, you name it. There's a million different apps out there now.
Yeah, your female coworker's car can only break down so many times.
Is that what you've seen before?
Oh, yeah.
Now, you were down in Florida some doing PI work, right?
Yep.
Did you see any of this down there?
Oh, tons of it.
Okay. What area were you in?
I was over in the Space Center.
On the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Yeah. Titusville, East Coast.
All right. Did you tell me what was the most common instance you saw there? Was it during the day at lunchtime? Was it at night? What did you see?
It was mostly during the day. Mm-hmm. You got the Space Center right there. Everybody's out. It's a tourist area, restaurants everywhere, up and down the beach. So people, while their spouse was working, they'd run out to the beach and the restaurants, and right next to these places is all hotels.
Did they meet up with them online? Was it a thing then, or is it a little bit before the app, the online dating?
No, they met them on like swinger sites and stuff.
Swinger sites. All right. We have a swinger intake this morning.
There's even swinger clubs.
Swinger clubs. We've seen some of that in our cases before.
Swinger groups. They all get together. So,
yeah.
And some of it is actually coworkers.
Right. They get together and start talking.
Oh, yeah.
Get those needs met elsewhere, right? Besides home. So,
yeah,
it's a big deal. Now, we've seen all sorts. We've seen it at night. We've seen it during the day. We've seen it in parking lots. I did a podcast a few episodes back where the woman would act like she was taking the garbage out to the dumpster and meet her boyfriend in the apartment at the dumpster. I mean, who said romance is dead, Jus?
I'm telling you, that's about as romantic as it gets.
Next to the garbage. But anyways, people get in this mindset that you can't be caught. They have some kind of sexual need they have to have filled, and they'll go to any means to do it. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is that all you got? So, yeah.
No, it's just there's so many different ones. So many different ways they've done it, gotten away with it.
Right.
Most of the time, eventually you get caught.
Mm-hmm. So we had one where a chief of police of a larger, we're not talking Podunk, Alabama with 2 cops. We're talking a large force with several divisions.
Right.
The chief had the chief's car. He had like a Suburban. It was his police car. He got a company car basically, right? And it said, I'm not going to name it right now, but it said police on the side. Chief, what's his name? Right? We'll just call it that. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay.
I don't want to single anybody out.
His wife, I don't want to get pulled over there. That's the thing in that town. But his wife suspected he was cheating, and we got to follow him around. And sure enough, he was. Now, how we figured it out right out the gate, the investigator, she just got out and kind of walked into the police department. Like she didn't want to sit there and do surveillance in the parking lot and be approached. So she went in like she was doing some kind of business, right? I think she just walked in, kind of walked around, used the restroom. Most of the lobbies of a police department, you can just walk in. It's a public area, right? You can't get to the important stuff. But she walked back out, and a woman had left a note on the chief's car, a sticky note. She called him Bugaboo.
Oh.
And said, hey, I can't wait to see you at lunch today. Okay. So this was COVID. So it was a little bit different, when like the beginning of COVID, when they said, hey, we're taking away your constitutional rights and you can't go anywhere. Remember those days? Okay. All right. That's a whole nother topic.
I'm old. I'm not that old. I remember that.
You don't have COVID fog, do you?
No, I do not.
You're so old. I'm surprised COVID didn't get you.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyways, they met up, immediately found out who she was. They went and grabbed some hamburgers at McDonald's and went around behind the CVS and proceeded to have a date right there for 2 hours.
Fine dining.
2 hours. And the light was just right so that you could see the camera inside, through the tinted windows, certain angles you can see in those things a little bit.
Right.
And you could tell what was happening.
They were gazing at each other longingly.
with a lot of motion in the vehicle.
Imagine
the vehicle was moving around. This is city property. Is that a big deal? This goes beyond cheating on your wife, right?
That's huge.
And you're in a larger town, the police chief, you got the mayor and then the police chief. That's kind of your leadership.
Right.
You're up there with the city council and all that. You're looked at as a leader of the town. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
And this we found it that day, but this went on for a month, off and on a few times a week. Now, the woman he was doing this with was a convicted felon, and she had just been arrested for a drug charge. Okay. Does it get deeper?
Probably.
And the drug charge was just dropped. And it wasn't just, hey, I got a little dope in my car. This was a controlled substance type situation.
And it just got dropped.
It just got dropped.
Those frappes are magical.
Frappes. But you see how far this can go, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
It turned into a big deal. And our client, this guy made a pretty good salary as the larger the department, they get paid more. There's more taxpayer dollars to waste. I keep tiptoeing on the political line.
It's a waste.
It is. Maybe we need to get Doge at that town and see what's going on.
Okay.
Get their own Doge. They're small. I mean, you could be the Doge.
Yeah, we could do that.
It probably wouldn't be hard. But anyways, this guy, he ended up getting fired, which is a big time thing. We submitted our evidence to the woman and her divorce lawyer. Now, this woman went ahead and gave it to the city council. The evidence.
It was hers.
Most of the city council didn't care, but there was one guy on the city council that did not like it at all. He said, this is wrong. And he brought it up and they voted and he got fired. All right. He's still a cop, though.
Of course.
I just don't get how you can still be a cop why didn't anybody investigate this woman? Hey, I'm having sex with her, so I'm going to make some things go away.
Well, it's not just that case. It's going to be any case that he had anything to do with that comes in question on integrity.
Right. Yeah, it would be. And so that's one example of adultery. We got several more we're going to get into, but we're going to take a break right now because we got to get business.
Oh, I'm going to go to McDonald's and get a frappe.
A frappe. You got to explain to me what that means.
It's a frappe. It's a drink. It's a coffee drink.
Okay.
It's delicious. They're magical.
Oh, it's magical.
Yes.
Stuff magically goes away.
Well, stuff happens.
So I went to school at Fife and barely made C's, some B's. So I'm not that smart. You got to explain things to me.
That's like super smart compared to my grades in high school.
Well, I actually went to class. You didn't show up. So
you're right. I didn't.
All right, we'll be back in just a second. That was good. Yep. Safe online dating. It's a big deal. So maybe you met the person of your dreams on Tinder or one of the other platforms and you're getting ready to meet up with them in person. Or maybe you've been in a long distance online relationship with them. You just want to know who they are. Well, we have a tool called TLOXP. It's only available to federal agents, police forces, and private investigators. Hey, that's me. And we can tell you about their bankruptcies, judgments, evictions, divorces, arrest record, important things you need to know before spending any more time with this person. All right, get to know who they are and confront them with it, or just break up with them, whatever your choice is. But you have to call us or fill out the information on the link below. You're going to hear from a real private investigator that's going to go over this data with you, go over the pricing options with you, and get the information you need to be safe online. Don't wait any longer. Click the link or give us a call to get started. The number is 866-910-7499. Again, 866-910-7499, or click the link. Hope to talk to you soon. All right, y'all, we're back with the second part of this thing. Pretty interesting. We got Jus. We opened up right on your face.
Oh.
With his hat on.
Again, face for radio.
Yep. We need to stop streaming on YouTube so you can fit in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want people to see all this.
We get more listens on the podcast. Podcasts are popular. People just pop it on in the car. YouTube, we're starting to get some traction on YouTube as well. But YouTube, we get more action on the little short videos. On the long stuff, people want to listen to it in their car.
And now you're calling them short videos? Is that a small joke?
That is. It's a small joke. Anytime I say small or tiny, we're talking about you, Jus.
Okay,
just know that.
I
Jus is, you can't tell here, but Jus is a short guy.
I
am. But we love him.
Somebody
still
does.
Your dad loved you said once. But anyways, back at this stuff. We're talking about adultery. And in the break, Jus mentioned nearby us, we're not going to say the town or person,
No.
but a fire chief got caught
Oh yeah.
in public property, a public car, right?
Yeah. Well, in the public office, in the fire chief's office, in the firehouse.
In the firehouse.
He was, showing all the equipment he had.
And his wife's pretty prominent in the county.
Oh, yes.
So people get power and they think that they're above everything and nobody's ever going to catch them, but they always get caught.
They
right?
do.
Right. And another one we got here is we had this guy, he wasn't a chief. Okay. But he was a high level guy in a fire department in a humongous city. All right. We'll say that. All right. He wasn't a chief, but he was like the senior paramedic. He was in charge of all the training.
Right.
They had it's a fire department. They had a fire school there and he was like the guy in charge of the school. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if you're nearby there, you could go take EMT classes as pay your little fee and you could go be EMT certified. And this guy was the teacher. All right, one of those kind of guys. I wouldn't say he's a chief, but he's a leader in the fire department. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Head trainer type guy.
Right.
All right. Well respected. And he was out. We saw him with just random women. All right. This was crazy. So we saw him out one day at lunchtime with one girl. All right. And then the next day with another girl. I mean, it was like crazy. The amount of women he was meeting up with. At first, the wife was like, it's probably trainees. I'm like, I don't know. These women are not typical trainees for a fire department between the ages of like 19 and 30, possibly. These women were in their 40s, 50s, and even 160, older. All right. So I just got the tag off one of the women and I called her. I said, what do you do? She goes, I'm a prostitute. She just said it. I'm an escort.
Oh.
So there we go. All right. He was on the escort sites and just hooking up with escort prostitutes, meeting up with them throughout the day. He didn't do it in a government vehicle like some of the others we talked about. He was in his personal car. But he would go to their houses. And even one time, my client was out of town, brought one couple into his home. Big deal. They have little children. Now, the children weren't there, so it's not a big deal. But this guy took it to the end. He lied in depositions, lied under oath on the stand. And the judge even called him out. One day I was there. I had to go testify, right? Right. And the judge even said, dude, you are lying. You know what I mean? He said, I'm going to hold you in contempt. He actually locked him up for an afternoon. Contempt in a civil case is not, the judge is just making a point, basically. They can't hold you for long, right. Because we're not taking away people's civil rights. But now our client had a huge inheritance. And this guy, he'd already been talking about divorce and told her, hey, I want half of that inheritance you got a few years ago. And she was doing everything she could to protect it. Then this came out. And then he lied under oath, and the judge basically told him to get out and move out. Here's your divorce. You're not getting crap. So
I don't know why they lie. What's he going to say? He was promoting small business in the area.
That's what he was saying. He said he was recruiting.
No,
but I actually called not just that one, and I called a few, and some of them ID'd them. So that's the fireman.
Oh,
and said they told me what website they met up and all these things. So
they have no shame in their game, but they'll tell you the truth.
They don't, because they know if they don't tell me, I'm just going to pick up the vice phone number and say, hey, dude, you got a prostitution ring going on. They'll go over and run their business for a few weeks. Yeah. So it's usually a slap on the wrist. You get a little arrest and maybe a fine, but back on the streets again.
Yeah, it doesn't take them long.
Yeah. But these women were prostitutes, escorts. And there's Facebook groups where you can go in and say, hey, is anybody available? And they're like, yeah, me. Get phone numbers, and then that's how it goes. So don't be trying to juice. Your wife will get mad at you.
Everybody gets mad at me.
Okay. All right. You got any more examples of that kind of stuff?
There's just so many. There's people at NASA, directors and stuff, to get caught. There's big engineers to get caught. Mm-hmm. Some of them get caught with, one of project manager got caught with a cleaning lady.
Cleaning lady in the building?
Oh, yes.
Cleaning lady.
She was cleaning his office.
I hope they cleaned up.
Yeah.
We don't want to get too dirty here. But anyways, these people in power, they tend to think they can get away with it. So,
And you know, that's generally where you find it. People in a position of authority of some sort, they think, I'm never going to get caught.
Yep. We got one going on now where it's more of a custody case, but it has to do with escorts, where we think the girl is in charge of getting escorts for her lawyer. Okay. I don't know if you've read that. You've dealt with that one a little bit, I believe.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to prove anything yet. We're still working on it, but she has a lawyer that's helping her in the custody case. And in her background, it says she works for him. Now, she was arrested for prostitution a few years back.
Right.
She's big and pregnant now, but I don't know what we haven't seen any proof that she's still doing it.
You can still work being pregnant.
People like a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
But we think she's like the hookup go-between between her lawyer, who's a prominent lawyer in the state, and she's the go-between. She connects him with young girls. And
pimping ain't easy.
Pimping ain't easy. But it's easy when your lawyer's the customer,
Correct.
right?
It makes it easy.
You got to immediate safeguard there, don't you? So, but we think that's happening. We haven't been able to prove anything yet. There's some smoke out there. We just haven't found the fire yet. So, now a lot of this evidence, people, if you get on the Facebook moms groups, those are great advice, right?
Yeah, those are great. They're all attorneys.
They won't take advice from an attorney with a law degree and 10 years in the business, but they will take advice from Mad Mama 2524 in the Facebook moms group.
Well, she watched General Hospital and all the, good soap operas, so she knows.
Young and the Restless.
Yes.
So, when I was on deployment a few times, this is back before the internet. I got a side story. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When I was in a force recon detachment, we would have what we call ready days, and you had to be ready to go in what we called ready room. It was the room below the talk on the boat. Have you ever seen that before? We kind of hung out, and you had TV going. Now back then we didn't have streaming service. This was in the 90s, and but we had DVDs. So we got a bunch of DVDs of The Young and the Restless, and I said, "What are y'all watching this for?" And we got into that, and it was a big deal. Bunch of grown men gunfighters watching The Young and the Restless and
on
getting
DVDs?
into it. Yeah, getting into it.
Man, you're making me feel old.
Yeah, it was funny.
We'd get the old VHS tapes.
And we got into that. We either watched Young and the Restless or we played NHL hockey on Dreamcast. You remember those?
No.
Dreamcast was like the predecessor to PlayStation.
You got to remember, I was in a little before you.
Yeah. Dreamcast was good. It was the first like high quality graphics, and then PlayStation bought them. So brought the graphics from them.
I'm so old. We were using actual playing cards to play.
We did play cards and stuff. Yeah, we played spades and we played dominoes. And we even played bingo sometimes on ship. Did you ever do that?
No.
And,
always spades.
Spades is fun.
I used to cheat in spades so bad. It was great.
We had fights over spades.
Yeah.
There's some black eyes come out of that, some broken fingers. So
yeah, it happens.
Right. But anyway, that's my side story about The Young and the Restless. And that's the Facebook moms group source of knowledge.
I didn't know you had a sensitive side like that.
Yeah, I haven't watched, as my grandmother used to call them. I haven't watched my stories in a long time. So
right.
The stories.
Maybe it's time you get back to watching them things.
The stories. But yeah, we can give advice on what we've seen, right? We can say, yeah, based off cases we worked, this may happen, but you have to get legal advice from a lawyer.
Right.
And don't get it from Facebook, Instagram,
no.
Twitter, whatever. Now you can see what other people are going through, but do not go off it. Go see a legal expert.
Yeah. Go see somebody that really knows.
Right. Talk to a legal expert before you start making decisions. The evidence in these cases, the Facebook moms group will tell you that it's a 50-50 state. Don't worry about getting evidence. That's in an uncontested divorce. Right? You can contest it based off adultery, based off financial crimes, based off a variety of things. And that's where we come into play. And if it's contested, yes, the 50-50 may go away. All right? It may go more 70-30. We can't put a number on it.
No.
80-20, 100 sometimes I've seen, especially when it comes to custody because of the behavior of the other side. So,
right.
All right. Any other thoughts, Jus, on this kind of thing?
Yeah, stay away from TV shows.
Unless just for entertainment.
Yeah.
Don't use it.
Don't use there's so much that's not true on those shows, cop shows and everything else.
Cop shows are entertaining. This is an example. The other day, we were training with extracting a phone. Remember that the other day?
Oh, yeah.
And you said, "Oh, I thought it'd be faster."
Yeah.
Because of a TV show, right?
Yeah.
It takes the more data on those devices, it just takes forever to extract it off. So, all right. Yeah. Stay away from the TV shows for legal advice. And we'll be back with another episode shortly. Say bye, Juice.
Bye, Juice.
That's his sign off for now. Bye, y'all. Talk to you.